All right, guys, so we're here at STP Motorsports in Plantation. About to put the Viper on the dyno. I've already done some tuning on it, but I want to confirm that everything I've done is good. So we're not going to get a base tune from the stock tune because I've already modified this thing. It's got no caps, new exhaust, new dampener on it, the K&N, and that's about it as far as anything that should add a little bit of horsepower. But we need to get everything straightened out with the tune. I added some timing and some fuel, so I want to make sure that's good. So I'm going to get started here in a few minutes once we get the car strapped down, and I'll update you as we go along. All right, guys, so there's run number one, which is lower than I would have thought, but it was definitely rich. So we're going to pull some power out of it, or pull some fuel out of it, and then pull a little timing as well and see what we get. Let's see what we got here. Okay, so that worked, pulling some timing. We got an extra 11 horsepower. We're still pretty rich. All right, 456, so we made a little bit more, but you can see it was going lean here low, but then still rich out here. So I'm gonna add a little fuel here in between 3,000 and 4,000 to try to get that in line at about 12. And then I'm gonna leave that alone for now, actually, and just add some timing and see if we can't eat up some of that fuel with timing and make a little more power. Torque is still staying about the same, but yeah, let's see what we can do. All right, so that seemed to work a little bit here. The newest one is our red line, max power 461. The green was prior, so we got the fuel kind of straightened out there. Then added some timing. We're still rich because we're not messing with the fuel there. So I might take away a little bit up top, basically above 4,200. Maybe I'll take away 1%. And it liked the timing, so we'll add another degree of timing, basically above 4,000 and see what happens. All right, so we can see we made a little more torque, but the added timing didn't do anything for horsepower, actually took it away. So now we are going to remove the timing that we added up top and then see if we can't lean it out a little bit here from 4,250 on up and get the air fuel where we want it. All right, so we set the timing back to where it was on this run, 461. So we gained essentially a horsepower by removing 1% of fuel. You can see the green line is slightly less rich, but I think we're gonna need to do a lot more than just 1%. So from say 4,800, well, 4,200 on out, I'm gonna take out 3% on the fuel and we'll see what happens. All right, biggest change yet. Went from 463, well it did read 462, but anyways, to 471 and 512, and that was just from removing the fuel. So we pulled 3% of fuel and got to that red line from what was previously the green one. So we're gonna do the same thing again. pull out another 3% of fuel in that same area and see what that does for us, because the car seemed to like it. All right, so new run, we only picked up half a horsepower and basically 1.5 foot-pounds of torque, but the fueling looks much better. It's still below 12, so and this should be relatively accurate. There's no cats on the car. It's a very short exhaust straight into the sniffer, so this should be all right. I'm gonna pull a little more fuel from basically 4,500 on out, maybe another, say, 2% to try to get it in the 12.5 range, and then we'll see what happens. If that does anything good, then we might add a little more timing, see what that does, and call it a day. All right, so our fueling looks about dialed. I'm gonna just leave that there at 12, 472, 473, and 514s. We're not picking up anything else there. Let's add degree of timing, let's say around 4,800 and up, and see if that does anything. If not, we'll put it back to this tune and call it a day. All right, that was a success. Jumped up another 2 horsepower. Fueling looks good. And yeah, I think that was solid. So we're gonna do what I just did again, add another degree of timing and see if we can't get a little bit more. All right, last run, we lost a little power. So we're gonna go back to the previous tune and call it a day.